Hi friends, today I am going to review the book, Grow Your Own Leaders, How to Identify, Develop and Retain Leadership Talent by Matthew J. Paese, Audrey B. Smith and William C. Byham. Leadership Development. Businesses face a leadership shortage. Headhunters, retirements and greener pastures all make highly skilled potential leaders hard to keep. To fill leadership slots, businesses must either raid other organizations for talent, or find a way to develop and retain the potential leaders among current employees. Doing nothing isn't a realistic option. Organizations that lack good leadership don't last long. Most organizations are not ready. Businesses need leaders to create and implement strategies, but these leaders won't just bubble up on their own. Leadership development takes time, work, and resources. Potential leaders need to recognize and respond to development opportunities. They are, to some extent, responsible for knowing their own strong and weak points. But the company should work with these high-potential people to make sure that their assignments help build the necessary leadership skills. Deciding in advance which people will fill which jobs is not the best way to develop future leaders. It's much better to assemble a pool of people skilled and flexible enough to handle several senior management jobs. The exception is the top job. For this job, companies need to publicly identify a backup or successor. A key benefit to growing your own leaders is the positive message it sends throughout your workforce. Leadership is getting more complex and demanding. Leaders must have a global perspective, be visionary yet collaborative, aware of details yet able to see the big picture, and capable of more than mere management. The flattening of organizations has eliminated many of the career steps that used to provide leadership training as high-potential people work their way up through the ranks. The acceleration pool takes a new approach to the problem of leadership development. In the past, managers told the human resources, our department, which staffers they perceived as their backups, picking one or two candidates each, and making an educated guess about how much time it would take before those successors would be ready to step up. The acceleration pool relieves managers of this responsibility. It nurtures executive-level skills in a number of potential executives through stretch jobs and task force assignments. Employees in the acceleration pool have mentors and receive special training, coaching, feedback, and other preparation that equips them for a big job of some sort, someday. People might spend from 1 to 15 years in the acceleration pool, depending on when they enter and what they need to learn. Essentially, members of the acceleration pool become jacks of all senior executive trades. Jumping into the acceleration pool. Companies start an acceleration pool by asking for nominations of people whose job performance and potential mark them as possible future leaders. The criteria for nomination ought to be uniform and as objective as possible. Such criteria might include education requirements, tenure with the company, management experience, job performance, training, international experience, values, motivation, docility, business acumen, and so on. Promoting people from within is good for morale and essential to a positive company culture. People can be nominated at any stage in their careers, but there is a trade-off. The earlier people enter the pool, the more time they have to develop the skills they'll need as leaders. But the longer management waits to let people enter the pool, the more accurate the assessment of their potential will be. The pool should be more or less homogeneous. Most members ought to enter at roughly the same stage in their careers. But many factors could determine why some people might be much more senior than others when they enter the pool. People mature and develop at different rates. Work or family pressures may require individuals to postpone entry, or they may have been recruited into the company at a senior level and placed immediately in the acceleration pool. Several years of corporate downsizing have left companies with fewer middle managers to promote into executive positions. Senior management reviews all of the nominations and develops the short list of pool candidates. Ideally, the pool should start slowly, with between 12 to 3 or 4 dozen members the first year, depending on the size of the company, its future leadership needs, and other factors. Again, emphasize that admission to the acceleration pool is by invitation, not assignment. Candidates themselves should have the right to choose whether they enter the pool or not. No stigma should be attached to an employee who opts not to join. Family or other responsibilities may make it prudent for the employee to decline. In these cases, keep the door open, in case circumstances change and the candidate eventually decides to enter the acceleration pool. What is true, and what becomes evident to process stakeholders, are the rich opportunities for alignment and integration of acceleration pools with other key systems affecting organizational effectiveness. Once candidates accept the invitation to join the pool, examine them to measure their organizational knowledge, experience, capabilities, and personality traits. This examination uses various techniques, including a leadership simulation called the Acceleration Center, interviews, and 360-degree multi-raters. The Acceleration Center uses web-based and multimedia tools to help pool members deal with realistic executive challenges. Multi-rater interviews and surveys compare each pool member's self-assessment with the assessments others make of him or her. A professional consultant helps each pool member understand the results of these tests and helps create a development priority list for each person, identifying those individuals who are most likely to strengthen an organization's leadership bench, and thus, its future can be compared to recruiting the best draft choices for a professional football team, building a solid foundation for a home, or choosing the right ingredients for a cake. A senior management committee called the Executive Resource Board, including the CEO and COO, reviews these lists and the summary reports on pool members to make sure that the priorities and development plans match the organization's needs and objectives. The board makes sure that pool members get the jobs, assignments, and training that will develop the skills future leaders will need. At the simplest level, personal attributes predict how a person is likely to behave in certain circumstances or, alternatively, explain why he or she behaved as observed or reported. A member of the board then meets with each member of the pool to explain how the person's new job or training fits the development plan. This meeting makes it clear to the pool member exactly what skills the new assignment aims to develop. After this meeting, the pool members meet with their current managers and their mentors, employees at or above the level of the manager, for more specific guidance on how to get the most out of the new posting. To sharpen this focus even further, members fill out the first part of a development action form, which makes them consider how they will obtain, practice, and measure their progress in the necessary skills. Since new pool members might not know enough about their new assignments to evaluate them in these terms, involve managers and mentors. In addition to clarifying the pool member's development path, this involvement helps to guarantee that the manager and mentor support the pool member's development course. The manager and mentor will continue to advise and assist the pool member, but the member must do the job and develop the skills. After completing the assignment, training course, task force, or other posting, pool members document their accomplishments and failures on the second part of the development action form. Making it work, paper and personnel. The acceleration pool requires some paperwork, although the paper may be digital. Each member has a career development portfolio including the development priority list, a personal information form, performance appraisal forms, and development action plans for both completed and ongoing assignments. The Executive Resource Board reviews these portfolios at 6-month intervals. Posting the portfolios on the corporate intranet, access restricted to pool and board members, makes these reviews fast and convenient. After each biannual review, the board decides what comes next for the pool member reassignment, new training, coaching, or more of the same. Personal attributes are relevant only to the extent that they are manifested in positive or negative behaviors. To succeed, acceleration pools need top-level executive support. The CEO and COO must work with other senior managers to decide what their development program needs to do and to make sure that all of the important stakeholders buy in. Managers may have very sound political reasons for opposing or only half-heartedly supporting the acceleration pool. One thing is certain: the targeted development of high-potential people won't happen if they are simply left to their own devices. The CEO should also be aware of some common pitfalls, errors, and false ideas about succession planning. CEOs should not allow short-term pressures to trump long-term development needs. They should not assume that they already know who should or should not be on the leadership succession list. And there is no point in fighting the last war by choosing as future leaders those people who successfully met past challenges. Future challenges will probably be different and will demand a different style of leadership. Impatience, failure to let people learn from mistakes, or selecting only successors who mirror the CEO's own skills, personality, and background can be fatal to the organization. Alternate leadership development paths. Long-range assignments, short-term experiences, training, coaching, and rebundling current responsibilities can all offer the opportunity to develop leadership skills. Assignments are important. Long-term responsibilities such as full-time jobs or part-time task force assignments that might last for years. Short-term experiences may be as simple as participating in a convention, working with an outside consultant, or serving on a committee. Training and executive education could include university-sponsored executive programs, self-directed CD-ROM or web-based courses, language training, computer training, leadership or behavior training, and more. Professional coaching consists of private meetings with a coach who typically focuses on personal characteristics and teaches soft skills, organizational strategy, tactics, and socialization. We have found that multi-rater feedback can be a highly valuable developmental tool because it can help people see themselves through others' eyes, thereby revealing blind spots. The correct option depends on the development objective. If your objective is to give an employee a job challenge, clearly an assignment is the best option. If your objective is to build organizational knowledge, then experience, assignments, and training may each have a role. If your goal is building competencies, training and practice make sense. If the objective is to attack derailers, coaching may be in order. Many rising leaders have strong opinions about how to succeed in business and can be reluctant to accept the notion that they have development needs. Assuming that all competencies can be taught to everyone is probably a mistake. Although this might be true in theory, in practice it is a costly supposition. Some competencies are simply too hard to teach, so it is more practical to focus on developing more teachable competencies. The easiest competencies to teach are the ability to communicate forcefully, develop strategic relationships, build organizational skills, delegate and work with a team. Among the most difficult, vigor, a positive attitude, docility and self-knowledge. Assignments are significant responsibilities given to the pool member. What do you do if a prospective leader is very weak in important but hard to teach competencies? One strategy is compensation. Someone who is strong in empowerment and delegation but weak in innovation may be able to delegate creative work and thus overcome the weakness. Another strategy is to recognize the potential leader's weakness and assign the person to jobs where he or she can flourish based on known strengths but where not too much is demanded from weak areas. Another tactic is to twin people whose strengths and weakness are complementary, assigning them to jobs where each can compensate for the other's deficiencies. Never suppose that it is impossible for people to overcome their weaknesses, though. Make suggestions for courses of self-improvement, offer coaching and feedback, and you may be pleasantly surprised at the results. Takeaways. Businesses need leaders to implement strategy. The leaders must develop skills through on-the-job training. Organizations can't afford to give every member leader-level preparation. Businesses need to identify and cultivate their future leaders. The best leaders won't just bubble up. Leadership development takes sustained effort over time. A leadership development plan must be tailored to the individual and the organization. Each assignment that a future leader receives should focus on developing leadership skills. Don't treat future leaders as anointed. Demand performance in every assignment. Senior management must take responsibility for developing future leaders. Did you know that around 70% of our viewers haven't subscribed to our channel yet? If you're one of them, why not consider hitting that subscribe button? It's a great way to stay up to date with our latest videos and support our channel at the same time. Join the majority of our community and subscribe today. Thanks for watching.